Welcome to another episode of UCRD Reviews. Today we have a P-Bandai here, and it's another design that I never thought we'd see in the version anime line. This one's the AGX-04A1 Gerbera Tetra Custom version anime, also called the Gerbera Tetra Kai. So this was a planned upgrade to the Gerbera Tetra from 0083, but after the destruction of the Gerbera Tetra, this design plan was scrapped and never saw the light of day. But it is a really neat design. It's designed by Mika Akitaka, and it was later redesigned by Hajime Katoki, but this is based on the design by Mika. It did first appear on the Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory Laserdisc, and later it appeared in the Gundam Weapons 3 catalog. This is directly based on the Gundam Weapons 3 appearance. So this was actually a figure at one time in the Gundam Fix line, and that's where the Katoki redesign came forth, but they are pretty different. Most notably, the back of this mobile suit is very different from the Katoki redesign, as well as some of the coloring. So again, this is based on the Gundam Weapons 3 appearance, and something that I'm really happy we got, because I was only ever familiar with the Gundam Fix version, and 20 years ago when that came out, and I was a kid, I just thought that was a redesign of the Gerbera Tetra. I didn't even know it was a whole new mobile suit until later on in life. So I'm happy to have this figure now so that I finally have it in my own collection. So let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, so let's take a look at the Gerbera Tetra Kai. This is a really neat looking mobile suit. I always liked the design when I saw it back in the day on MAHQ, when that was the only Gundam website with all the information. So very, very well done. Like I said, again, this is the Mika design, not the Katoki design. The head looks nice. So the top of the head is actually removable. Let's see if I can do this without dropping it. There we go. And the mono eye can be moved side to side, like so. Go ahead and move it back there. You do want to be careful of these two antennas. You do get replacements, thankfully, but of course you want to be careful with it anyway. The head will come down quite a bit. You have this back flap here for a little bit of added movement when it comes up, and then it'll rotate about that far on either side. You don't have any chest flex with this design. The arms do come forward quite a bit, and they'll come back a bit as well. That's mostly the shoulders. You can see kind of where the arms are. The arm movement itself is about like this, so decent. The shoulder binders are on ball joints. You can kind of see it underneath there. This flap is hinged just slightly, not a whole lot, with some effect part compatible thrusters, and then this is hinged as well on either side. The arms will come out obviously to as far as the shoulder armor will allow, and they'll only go up that far as well, because these don't rotate. They'll pop off, but they don't rotate around, so it'll only go up about that far. There is a swiveling joint here. It is kind of stiff, but it'll do a full rotation. The elbow joint has this funny side-to-side joint that some of the 0083 figures have, and then you have good elbow articulation there. You have the double ball jointed hands, and you have the machine guns sculpted into both arms, which is pretty cool. So with the torso, it won't go down much. It'll go up a little bit, and you can get a full rotation out of it. I'm not going to do it, but it'll go all the way around. You get a little bit of side to side, not much. It's very stiff. I won't stay to the side. On the back here you have one large swiveling fuel canister. These we'll go over in just a minute. These are these pieces over here. And this is actually, because it's a fuel canister, you can dump it. So when the mobile suit is in combat and it wants to shed some weight, it'll actually dump this off, which is pretty cool. You have a fixed rear skirt armor with 2 effect part compatible thrusters. They are ball jointed, they don't move a whole lot. You have your stand piece down there. Let's see here. Then we got the legs. There is no skirt armor, and just like the Gerbera Tetra, this is where the beam sabers would be stored. Legs will come up that far due to the armor. They will go up as far as they can, just because there's no armor blocking it. You have decent knee articulation. Legs are kind of bulky, but not the greatest knee articulation in the world. You have effect part compatible ball jointed thruster here, and you have one on the foot. So the feet will come down about that far. They'll come up way too far with toe articulation. I don't know why they come up that far, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Side to side is decent. It's limited by the armor somewhat. So pretty good articulation in the legs. The figure itself looks pretty good. It's not super detailed. You have these white spots all over. You have some yellow detail on it, on the head, on the chest, the green cables, and not a whole lot going on back here, but pretty good looking. And then we have these pieces. Get one of these out of here. So these are the wing binders. So you can see where it clips in. You have a large ball jointed thruster here, and you have 2 small ones up in there. They're all effect part compatible, and then this is ball jointed as well. So we'll go ahead and snap these on here. It should just pop right in, hypothetically. There we go. So there's one side, and switch hands here, and there's the other side. So pretty cool looking. So that's the back design, and like I said, if you compare it to the Katoki design, his looks more like the original Gerbera Tetra, but this one looks very different. I kind of like that. So really cool looking. Let's go ahead and take a look at what this one actually comes with. Alright, so we've got the lovely version anime hand rack, rifle hands, beam saber hands, and 2 different sets of posing hands. We do have 2 beam sabers. These are the exact same ones, same color and everything as the regular Gerbera Tetra, and they attach to this little storage piece, and then the storage piece goes inside of here, and it's going to be very difficult to get to because of the shoulder armor, so bear with me. If I can actually get this in there, so it's going to go like that, so it looks like it's kind of popping out. So pretty cool. And then we have the beam machine gun. This is again identical to the Gerbera Tetra, down to the color, paint, everything. It is effect part compatible. It does not have a removable magazine or coolant reservoir, which is unfortunate, but it does have the piece that gets removed here to cool off the coils of the rifle, which is pretty neat. So it has the painted camera in there. It has this piece here that looks like it does something, but it actually doesn't. And then the handle moves as well, so pretty cool. We have the beam sniper rifle. This is the exact same one from the GP04. It is effect part compatible. It has a movable camera. You can see it moves a couple different directions. It has this rear handle that moves around quite a bit. This is the standard handle that moves back and forth, and it has a front handle like a lot of the other GP series that moves side to side as well. This does have a removable magazine, go figure, and yeah, it looks really nice. It is kind of a fragile piece. You do want to be very careful of this. This does not move, and you want to be very careful of this. So to compare, I went ahead and brought out the GP-04's beam rifle. So you can see the camera's different. There's a bit more paint on this one this time around. So I think it looks much better in this color scheme here. So pretty cool. Just like the other one, there is a small kind of beam saber like thing that's on a lot of the GP series weapons, and this one has it as well. The emitter's there and there, but we don't actually get that part, which was a complaint that I had before, and I still have now. I wasn't even aware that the Gerbera Tetra Custom used this weapon, but according to the box art and stuff, it does indeed. So, and that makes sense because the GP-04 is the predecessor to this. And then lastly here, we have an even more baffling weapon. This is a beam rifle, which looks pretty cool, effect part compatible. Handle moves a little bit. Magazine is not removable, which is criminal because it looks like it could very easily be removable. But this, from what I understand, is actually the GP-04's beam rifle. It just comes with this figure. So you can give this to your GP-04. I know in Battle Operation 2, the GP-04 is actually equipped with this as a sub-weapon. So really cool looking. I like the design. Interesting that we get it in this figure. So moving onward, last thing we have to look at is dig through all the effect parts. These are just the two beam saber blades. They're kind of in this greenish yellow color. They plug in like normal. Nothing we haven't seen before. And then for effect parts, we have a slashing beam saber effect, pretty standard. We have a firing effect. That's a two-parter, which we've again seen before. We have two thruster effects with straight pegs, which are cool, I guess. And then we have four interesting pieces. I looked at these and I said, oh cool, we get blue beam saber blades. Like, that's neat. And then I realized this figure doesn't have blue beam saber. They molded these as thruster effects, really thin thruster effects, which I don't know about that, but that's what they're marketed as. So we have four thin thruster effects, or if you're brave enough, some blue beam sabers. So pretty cool. Alright, so here we have the Gerbera Tetra with the Gerbera Tetra Kai. Although they look really different, they actually have a decent amount of similarities. The chest is a little bit different. You can see like where my thumb is, that's molded different. But otherwise mostly the same in the chest. The head is completely different. You can see there. Same with the shoulder binders. The arms, see if I can get the arms there. The top of the arms are the same. The elbow joint is different, of all things. This one's smaller on the Gerbera than the Kai. And then the actual forearm here is the same. And then the armor here is the same, oddly enough. The thighs are the same. The legs are actually the same, aside from the back of them. That's where it's different. But otherwise it's pretty much the exact same mold. And then the feet are the same, which is kind of hard for me to show the Gerbera because I just insisted on having the giant stern booster on. But A lot of similarities, which I was really surprised about, because the coloring makes it very different. And then we'll just we'll spin these guys around here, and you can see on the back they're obviously way different. The stern booster on this always makes me laugh. It looks like some sort of character with its mouth open. Very different here. There's no rear skirt armor on the Gerbera, and there is on the Kai. Everything else is pretty different. I prefer the Gerbera Tetra Kai's look with all the fins, but I do love the Gerbera as well. So let's get everybody placed back here. But very neat to have both of them. I really didn't think we would see this MSV stuff in this line, and here we finally got it. So really cool. So now that we've seen everything with the Gerbera Tetra Custom, we can talk about how much it cost. It is a P Bandai, so it ended up costing $75.68 before shipping and stuff. So not a bad price. It is a larger box figure. There's a lot going on with it. It is an odd design, kind of like the Gerbera Tetra was. But it comes with a lot of cool stuff. 3 guns, beam sabers, a couple parts, and a bunch of effect parts. Is pretty cool. I ended up kind of liking these effect parts. They were lazily done because it's just a beam saber recolored, but I think it works in this particular instance. I don't really want to see it with a bunch of other figures, but in this case I'll accept it. Again, yeah, it looks really nice. I actually like the color separation way better than the actual Gerbera Tetra. This one, I think it works a lot better. It's not like a heavy marking figure or anything, but I think it looks pretty good. So I'm happy with it. I don't really have any complaints. There are some fragile pieces on here to watch out for, but other than that, I think it works really well. So definitely one to pick up. Plus it's an odd MSV design, so that's right up my alley. So let me know in the comments if you ended up picking it up or not, what you thought of it. I appreciate every one of you watching the review, supporting the channel. So let me know what you think of it, and I'll see you next time.